Hi Deb, it's Zoe. This is my belated reply to your first post in our video blog, our discussion about my play, The Stenographer, which you're directing at Venus Theater. So I'm very happy to have this discussion, and there's a lot to talk about. But I'm glad we're starting out with the theme of stenography. You mentioned the theme of stenography. So that really goes to the heart of what the play is about. So the play is not about stenography. The play is about writing. So, but if you really think about it, we all write something. We all write every day, pretty much. We write emails. We write Facebook posts and letters, whatever. But some of us write plays and novels, and we write for a living, but we all write, and we all start our writing lives as children, as stenographers. We copy, we write down the words of others, of our parents and our teachers, and then soon we come to realize that we can write our own thoughts down, and we can actually, through writing, we can shape our own thoughts, and we can restructure our ideas and all that kind of stuff. And we may come to realize at some point that something more important, which is that writing implicates us. Writing implicates the writer. It's impossible to predict what will happen when you start writing. You're going to discover things about yourself you didn't know. You're going to discover things about your relationships with other people, and it's not going to be an easy process. And once you write personal things, the more personal your writing becomes, the more it's going to implicate you and affect you in a deep way, yourself and others. And that's the realization that the characters in The Stenographer are going to gradually arrive to. And but before I talk about that, I wanted to tell you about two real-life stories that influenced me to write The Stenographer. So one of them you know about, the other you don't know about. So I'll start with the one you don't know about. A few years ago, I read War and Peace by Tolstoy, the novel. And I read about the book too, and how it was written. And it turns out that Tolstoy was married to this woman, Sofia, and she was essentially his stenographer for War and Peace, which is a very, very long book. It's a huge book. So his wife, Sofia, Tolstoy's wife, copied over and over all the rewrites of the book, which was written in the span of many, many years. And she handwrote thousands and thousands of pages of writing, of her husband's writing, and edited parts of it. And she was essential, basically, in the completion of that book. So I was reading about that, and I thought, that's a very, very interesting little story there. And, I wondered how I could maybe, work that story into a play or something, or a screenplay or something. And then a couple of years ago, and this is a story you know about, I started reading Crime and Punishment, another long Russian, novel. And I read about how Dostoevsky wrote it, and it turns out that at the time that he was writing Crime and Punishment, he was also writing The Player, another novel of his, and he hired a young woman to help him with it and to be his stenographer. So it turns out that the Dostoevsky married his stenographer. So his second wife, Anna, was his stenographer. And I read about their marriage, and it was a very, very happy marriage. And essentially, Anna saved Dostoevsky, because when he met her, he was poor and in debt and just miserable and not the great Dostoevsky yet. And she became this angel in his life, this nurturing, angelic figure in his life, and they had children, and she loved him deeply. And there's a lot of speculation about how much of their real life exchange that went on between them in the room while she was a stenographer actually made it into The Player, and maybe into Crime and Punishment too. in Crime and Punishment, there's the character of Sonia, the young prostitute who's like she's an embodiment of compassion and kindness, and she loves Raskolnikov, the protagonist, the murderer, Raskolnikov, deeply, and she's like an angel in his life. And so I was reading about all that stuff, and I started looking at the relationship between Dostoevsky and his wife as almost like the ultimate literary affair, where two people, where a love is born out of writing, almost, where it's impossible to distinguish the love from the book. And Anna, became in my mind sort of an embodiment herself of the fact that nobody can remain a stenographer for too long. That once, your writing becomes personal, about something personal, once it's deeply felt and affects other people, it's no longer stenography. It's not just words, and it's not something that you can just walk away from. It's going to change your life. It's going to change you. So that's what happens to the characters in The Stenographer. The Stenographer is about a man and a woman who meet in a room, and they start talking about Crime and Punishment and other things, but in the process of talking about writing, they reveal things about themselves and confess things about themselves, and they come to realize how much writing has changed their lives, how much it has affected them, and they're going to take a completely new direction in their lives, and we're going to watch that happen to them, that change happen to them in the course of the play. So yeah, that's in a nutshell my thoughts about the theme of stenography and writing. And I understand that you're now reading Crime and Punishment. You're very, very frustrated with this, so that's good. I was really frustrated reading it. It's a very difficult book, but I think it's a very moving book. It's a masterpiece, and I look forward to talking to you more about it. So I'm waiting for your response to my response. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.